up, Ride Warriors, and welcome back to Cedar Point Unlimited, where we talk all things Cedar Point, all the little things that happen. Now, Steve, we are well into the season here. It's already the middle of June. Both of us finally got to go through Forbidden Frontier, and we wanted to give you some of our thoughts on it. I got caught up in some stories. I don't know what you did. Why don't you start? What'd you do in Forbidden Frontier?
So, what I did, I don't know. I'm not one who wants to interact with all these people. I'm not a talkative, outgoing person in public. I don't want to be the center of attention. So I just kind of wanted to stand back and see how other people are interacting with the characters, see what's going on. And I did end up getting roped into a few little missions.
You always do, right? It just happens. You're standing there.
I'm standing there, and someone comes up and hands me a book, and they're like, "Hey, you need to take this to that guy." I'm like, "Oh, okay, all right." So then I take it to the guy. He gives me something else to do, and then one thing led to another. But no, it's a very nice area. I think I found myself looking at Millennium Force more than I did the actual Forbidden Frontier attraction, but when I went, it was like 86 degrees out. It was way too hot I didn't want to do the pull rope thing. There was a line. But it did seem like a pretty cool idea. It doesn't seem like, now I think you said you did it. The way I was looking at it, it almost looks like it's sort of automated where if you really didn't want to pull the rope, you're still going to make it across.
You think that, but it's not. And we stood in line. We were there during Coaster Mania again. And I was really watching it because there's two big boxes at either end. And we found out why they're there because it actually happened when we were there. So it looks like it's automated. It may be assisted a little bit. I don't even think it's assisted though. I think you're pulling that raft all the way through. And so when you pull it, it's like winding up at the other end a little bit. And basically why those boxes are there is in case there's nobody at the other end, they can just pull it on the box and bring the raft back without any people. They still have to pull it because we were wondering what was going to happen. We saw the situation lining up nicely. There is nobody in the other side. There was a line on our side, and I'm like, okay, how are they going to get this raft back? Are they going to hit a button and it's just going to go back, or are they going to actually pull it back? And they actually did pull it back. So when you're pulling that rope, you are actually pulling that rope. And now I did not. I had two other people in the boat. They took care of it. I said to them,
You just went along for the ride.
I stood there like a captain and went along for the ride. And you do get a little wet because if you notice that rope sags, so there's two ropes on either side. You pull the top. There's also a bottom rope that goes underneath the raft, and that does skim the water. So that rope gets a little wet. And as you're pulling, it's going to start shoot off a little. You're not going to get super wet, but it will shoot off a little bit of droplets. I liked the boat. I thought it was kind of cool. I thought it was kind of cool to me not personally pull the rope, but it is a long wait. I will say that it is a bit of a long wait. I also did the bridge, the bouncy bridge, and that's a lot.
That's how I got. I went into the island on the bouncy bridge, and I came back to Cedar Point on the little roundabout way that goes kind
like
of
the waterfall bridge. Yeah, and that's really cool too, where you can pump the TNT box and blow the old Shoot the Rap. Well, I don't know if those were from Shoot the Rapids, but they could be. But I thought that whole beginning part was real nice. The water, they kind of themed it nicely because it used to be crystal clear.
Yeah.
On Shoot the Rapids, that was crystal clear water, and they kind of put some stuff down at the bottom, maybe over, muddied it up a little bit to make it a little bit murkier. That was
to make it look less like a pool.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It looks more like a lake than a pool. So when I got pulled in, first, let me say I didn't do the high ground stuff, which is the ropes course and all that. Because I didn't have a kid with me. They say now I've been told that adults can do it.
I would just feel a little creepy in a big area.
Some people have said that the really tall slide is actually kind of fun. That some of the adults did it, and they said that the tall slide was kind of fun. I didn't do it, whatever. But that looks like a great place for kids. Like my nephew, who's 2, is going to absolutely love that because he loves that. He loves going to parks and all that junk. So he's going to absolutely love that. The hammocks that you said, you get to stare at Millennium Force. That was really cool. And I got pulled into a story too. And I'll tell you the story. So I got pulled in by Digger himself. Digger from Steel Vengeance fame. They do have the Steel Vengeance characters over there now, which
kind of doesn't make sense, but
okay.
They
If you
kept
want to put them there,
them around.
they got the costumes, so they put them over there, which is cool. They used to have them over by Steel Vengeance, but now they don't. So I got pulled in by Digger. He gave my group a necklace. It was a diamond necklace, and he's like, you know what? I stole this earlier. They're on to me. I don't want to keep it. Can you go put it back for me? And being the criminals that we are, we of course agreed to go put it back into dock whoever's safe it is. They all have names for everything. I couldn't
remember names.
So we come into the safe and we look at the safe, and it's a legitimate safe. It's an old school, combination lock, heavy, fireproof, bulletproof safe. So we're like, okay, it won't open. So this other lady comes by and she's like, oh, I see you're here to bring that back for us. You have to come into this other room. Like you said, they like to pull you into other places. So you have to come into this other room, find the combination. It's hidden on the walls somewhere in like pictures and whatever. So we found the 3 numbers. We go back. Doesn't work. She's like, oh, you probably need to know what order they're in. So we go back. She's like, well, you have to look at what colors the numbers are. Okay, so we look at the colored numbers and we go back. And we're like, okay, so that doesn't really help us. She's like, oh, you might want to look at the side of the safe. So she keeps giving us tips or whatever.
Yeah.
And we look at the side. It shows you like how to do the combination, like turn it 3 times this way, the purple number first, then the green number, then the whatever blue number. Steve, we couldn't get it. 3 of us, about 18 tries, could not get it. And it's pushing 12 o'clock here, and our Coaster Mania lunch is at 12 o'clock. So we had to peace out. So we had this necklace, and we didn't want to leave it there. So we went back to Digger and said, hey, buddy, you're on your own. And we threw it at him. So he's like, oh, okay. We couldn't get it open. It was tough. And I don't know if we're just idiots at combinations or idiots at safes or whatever it is. We could not get the safe open. So we failed our first mission, and then we went to lunch. So it's fun. It's, if you want to get involved, like I said, I've seen this before at Ghost Town Alive. I did not get involved at Ghost Town Alive out at Knott's. This is the same theory. I think it's really cool. The whole area, I think, looks great. I think the work that they've done out there, building the buildings, putting the theming in, putting the big play place in, I think they're on the right track. With
Other than Millennium Force, you can't tell that you're in an amusement park. I mean, you can't see any other parts of the park when you're in there.
Yeah, it's you can't really, because the trees are big enough. I was kind of disappointed that they didn't leave the old Dinosaurs Alive route to go back out towards Camp Snoopy.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because they don't want people just passing through and using it as a midway, is my guess. They want to have people actually experience.
I want to use it as a midway.
Well, I'll tell you what. We were over by Magnum, and Tony Clark, said that there's a tweet up happening. And I'm looking at, or we were over by Dragster, and Tony Clark posted the tweet up thing, and he's over by the entrance of Forbidden Frontier. I'm thinking to myself, damn, that extra entrance right there.
That would have been perfect.
True. Otherwise, I got to go all the way around. That wasn't happening. So I did not win that tweet up that day. But I think that's why they don't want it, because people, I would absolutely use that as a cut through, so I wouldn't have to go through Frontier Town, because you just cut right through. So at Coaster Mania, someone brought up the idea of using Forbidden Frontier for haunts.
That's what I'm thinking. That would be awesome.
Which would be absolutely awesome.
I don't think that it would be... Well, no, maybe they could. During the day, they could have it be they could have the kid, like a Halloween thing for kids, and then at some point at night, they close it down for 2 hours to get it ready for haunt.
They've already said that it's only open through August. So they are not running Forbidden Frontier during haunt. But I'll do the rumor killer right now. They said they are not using it this year for anything. So they are closing it in August. They're not going to use it for anything. But they also agreed with what both of us just said. And they said, Jason McClure and Tony Clark said, it would be an awesome location for haunt, but it would have to be unlike any haunt experience that you've ever done. Just like Forbidden Frontier is a completely unique experience. They would want that same feeling in that area to be completely unique, because you can't use it as a scare zone. There's a lot of stuff to trip over. There's a lot of stuff where people could run into it, like if they get scared. There's not a whole, you don't want to start building fences over everything. So you couldn't treat it like a traditional haunt.
Yeah.
You have to treat it as like a haunt experience. The closest thing I can come up with, which I don't even remember the name of it. It was at Valley Fair. It was an indoor haunt that was based on mythology over by the Dinosaurs Alive area. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. I apologize. But basically what it was like 3 or 4 rooms, and it was a story-based haunt where they would put you in a room, they would tell you a story, one of the actors would tell the group a story, and then something would happen that would scare you. And then you'd be pushed into the next room, and something else would happen there. And you'd be pushing. So it was like special effects. It was story. So I would imagine it would have to be something more like that, where it's not your traditional haunt. It's not a haunted house. It's
like
not
there's stations that they kind of cattle. What am I thinking?
Yeah,
of?
like you cattle
with the cows.
Push people along through these, and that's exactly what it was. Is they would push big groups into the next room and then fill the room with more people. And I liked it. I thought it was really unique. I thought it was way too short. I thought they could have done more with it at Valley Fair, but I really, really, really liked the idea. And if Cedar Point started there and moved forward on and use Forbidden Frontier somewhat like that, I think it could be really awesome for haunts. Or the other idea is what Knott's does, and they do the zombie shooter. They take they actually build. They take one of their indoor buildings and do a zombie shooter through it. They used to do it through Camp Snoopy, where they actually hand you a gun and you go through and you have to shoot zombies or shoot whatever you want. And it's like a team-based thing, and you score points, and there's nightly leaderboards. And that would be really cool out there too, where you could do a zombie shooter, I think, quite easily through that area. And I would almost think that might be the way they go, because Knott's did it. And I Infected at Knott's, I think, is probably on its way out pretty soon, because it's been there for quite a few years now. Knott's likes to cycle things out, and I think they could use those guns and just ship them right over to Cedar Point and maybe do a zombie shooter at Cedar Point and do the same kind of stuff. But for Forbidden Frontier, back to that, the other thing, did you try the Buckeye Fizz / beer? It's the same thing.
I did not, but I'll have to try it next time.
Well, it's $5 a glass, and it's root beer with peanut butter and chocolate syrup put into it, and they mix it all up.
It sounds kind of gross.
It's a unique taste. It's unique. I compared it to maybe like drinking molasses. It has like a very molassesy,
very thick.
It's light. It has that flavor, but it's not thick like you would think. It's not like it's going down your throat real slow. It's just like the consistency of root beer. I liked it enough to go ahead and buy the 2 bottles of syrup and make it myself. So I've had it quite a few times already. I have purchased the 2 bottles, the exact bottles of what they have there, and I have made it myself at my house a couple of times. And it's not something I drink every time I go. It's not something I would, it's an acquired taste maybe a little bit. Some people have compared it to the taste of like flat root beer. If you like that. Ugh. I like flat root beer, so maybe that's why I like it. But overall, I think Forbidden Frontier, a lot of people are like, "Oh, this is stupid. Oh, this is a waste of time." I think it's a great addition. And that's not bullshit either. I think the kids are going to love the ropes course, the high ground. I think anyone who likes to interact with people or just watch other people interact are going to get a kick out of the live theater part of it. I don't know if it's something you spend 3 hours in. I think 30 to 45 minutes.
Yeah, I spent maybe 30 to 45 minutes, and then that was enough for me for the day. And I'm going to the park again this Friday with my mom, so I'll probably take her through it, and she can see what it is. It'll be her first time at the park this year. And when I went through, I didn't get any of those puzzles. I just kind of got these missions where I had to go deliver something to someone else. Yeah. I just kind of handed it to them. They had a conversation and had me ship something else to a new location. But I kind of wish I got to experience one of the puzzle type things, and I'm wondering what other ones there are. Is the safe one the only one that you came across when you were there?
That's the only one I found, but we didn't spend a whole lot of time. We walked through it one time. The first time we walked through it, actually, Tony Clark was filming his point cast. We were actually standing right outside the range of the camera when he was talking to the emu at the end of his point cast. We actually watched him do that live.
Did they release that yet?
Yeah, he just released it like this week sometime. So if you haven't seen it, he goes through and talks about Forbidden Frontier. There's apparently a whole storyline. There's different clans. They're selling T-shirts for the different clans.
Yeah, I didn't catch any of that. I just kind of walked through, and the actors were really good. I just didn't really understand the story. I feel like they almost need some type of intro story, like person at the front of, like when you go in like Blood on the Bayou or Carnival or whatever they turned Carnival into. There's kind of like the guy out front kind of explaining like what very broad explanation of what's going on, but they feel like they need something like that out front so you kind of know what you're walking into in terms of the story.
So you have the fort when you first walk in, then you have like the newspaper stand. And when we were there, as a girl standing there, and she was giving out newspapers to some people, but not to everyone. So,
yeah, like when I went through, it looked like some people had a map or something with writing all over it, which it was either probably a map or this newspaper you're talking about. And I didn't get one. And I couldn't even find where they were handing them out.
I think they're giving them out mostly to the kids, was my feeling, unless they might give you one if you purposely interacted. But if you were just like walking through and were uninterested, they weren't just going to hand you one.
Yeah,
is my impression of it. So I would like to get my hands on that newspaper/map to see what's on there, to see if there's any more. But I'm sure there's more puzzles. There's got to be more puzzles because they said this was going to be for all different ages. So, I think the delivery stuff is more for the kids, but the puzzles would be good for any age, really. It's kind of like that.
It's like an escape room type of thing.
So and like they sold this as it's going to be different every time you go. And absolutely, it seems like that's the case where it could very well be different. And Tony Clark made the point of saying it's really based on how much you're going to interact with people, that the more you interact, the more you're going to get out of it. Like, they're going to come up to you every now and then like they did with us, but sometimes they're not going to come up to you. So it's kind of like you kind of have to like initiate the conversation, which some people don't want to do, and I get that. But if you want to play the games, I guess you have to a little bit.
Yeah.
Kind of guess at what's going to happen. And that's kind of makes it, like you said, if this was just like a ropes course, I probably wouldn't go back in after. Like, I wouldn't go back in and be like, oh, unless I'm bringing like my nephew in to go actually do that. Otherwise, I don't need to do the boats again. I don't need to walk on the bouncy bridge again. But this interaction thing kind of puts a different, spin on it. Also, they have a whole different menu out there too, for that provision place. That with the Buckeye Fizz, they don't just serve drinks; they actually serve food too. So I didn't experience any of that, but it seemed like a different menu than what I saw at other places. So, Forbidden Frontier, I think it's cool. Especially if they do more with it at Haunt, I think it'd be even more cool. But right now, it's okay. Right now, it's great. I think if you haven't done it, you should go do it. Basically,
it's worth doing at least once. If you don't like it, you don't like it. But I think if you don't like it, you'll still probably think it's a pretty cool experience. But yeah.
At the very least, you can sit in the hammock and watch Millennium Force run all around you. So that's – and you weren't able to do that before because you could, I guess, if you sat there in dinosaurs, but there are a lot more trees, I feel, that there's better views of Millennium Force now, especially especially over by where the T-Rex was before, and where the hammocks are, especially. You get the hill going back to before that tunnel. You get nice views of that hill. So as always, thank you for joining us here on CP Unlimited. I am, of course, Andrew Barchak from Chicago, Illinois.
And I'm Steve Lynn from Cleveland, Ohio.
Right on, Ride Warriors.